Hey guys, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Today I'm going to be reacting to Deus Ex Mankind Divided walkthrough playthrough done by Fallen Foggy. This is going to be part, I think it's 14 now. Let me just double check. Yes, part 14. If you want to check out my previous reactions to part 13 and all the other parts, remember the playlist card is going to be at the top here. Just click on it and be able to access them. If you want to check out the original video as well as Fallen Foggy's YouTube channel, the links are in the description below. Part 13. We are still in the Task Force 29 headquarters in Prague, and director Miller, he's not really taking care of his officers. You know, as the director, he's focused more on completing the missions instead of also making sure that his employees within the building and everyone else, all the other personnel in the building, are in a safe and secure place where they can work in a conducive environment. So Miller is focused more on the bureaucratic handling as well as the operation handling of the task force, and not really dealing with the administrative part of the task force. And he should be doing both. But he doesn't do that. Yeah, we've just been seeing a lot of cables on the floor, traffic cones in the building as well, a lot of wiring and water on the floor as well. What else? Oh yes, places that are meant to be secure from any type of foreign contaminant, in terms of keeping evidence secured and made sure that the evidence is not contaminated with those places. The forensic department is completely open for everyone to walk into, so that's also a serious problem that I kind of saw there. Adam Jansen has also been talking to McCready. Yes, McCready. And McCready still doesn't really like Jansen, and it's not only because he's an augmented human being. There's also some underlining prideful kind of competition that McCready has with Jansen, because Jansen has direct access to the director when he should be McCready's underling. But for some reason, the director has complete and utter trust in Jansen, and he depends on him for the most important missions, something that should be McCready's responsibility. So there is some sort of like an animosity between them. Jansen wants to have peace, but McCready is not interested in peace. And yeah, it's just a lot of politics, internal politics inside Task Force 29. And yeah, let's see what happens next in the offices. 3, 2, 1, go.
I hate this. I really hate this.
I've run DNA checks through all the out.
Arun Singh, isn't this the guy from Dubai?
It is Jensen. Yes.
Agent Singh. Wasn't expecting to see you again, in civvies at least.
Just passing through. I wanted to thank your team for the backup in Dubai. That sting went to hell faster than the storm did.
You're welcome, but I don't think you came all this way to say thanks.
Director Miller asked me to get Agent McCready up to speed. Now I have the red-eye flight back to Oman.
Headed into the field office there?
Not exactly. One of our black sites. I'll be dropped in as a captured enemy combatant.
Again? Aren't you compromised as a double agent?
After I contact my fellow Jinn prisoners, I shall lead a very convenient escape.
Re-embedding with the Jinn. Aren't you taking a big risk, given everything that happened?
No choice. That ambush knocked everyone on their asses. TF-29, Bell Tower, the Jinn. To cover all the angles, I need to go back. Hopefully my cover is still good. You killing the signal booster at the hotel should help.
You're thinking the Jinn can get a beat on our gate crashers faster than TF-29.
Perhaps. They do not like loose ends. An augmented kill squad with military training. Have you ever seen anything like it?
Yeah, once.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a long story. Whoever they were, they knew exactly when the deal was going down. Any chance they were based locally, in Dubai?
No. After the incident, Dubai became the world's most luxurious tombstone. Perfect for the jinn, but for no one else.
I thought human augmentation was frowned on in the Middle East. Why was Dubai hit so hard?
Because it was another world. Two other worlds, in fact. One of extreme augmentations in gold or crystal, and one of thousands of workers outfitted for construction.
The Middle East is not one country, Adam Jansen. I think you know this already. You know, the Middle East contains a lot of countries having their own laws, having their own way of life. And, you know, there'll be some, in public, they say augmentation is bad, but in private, you know, they are implementing these policies of having these augmented human beings being used as workers or as security personnel and stuff like that. So it's not really a surprise that, you know, Dubai, as being one of the financial hubs of the Arabian Peninsula, you know, have backroom laws that allow them to have this certain type of advantage over their next door neighbors. So it's no surprise.
Then, that day.
I know.
No, Agent Jensen, you could not. Some called it divine punishment. But that day was not the work of a merciful God.
Did we get anything out of the cleanup operation?
Mostly corpses. Heavily augmented, as you know. Under those gold masks, they were ID scrubbed. No prints, no dentals, no DNA match. Professional.
Could still be ex-Bell Tower. Plenty of men and material went AWOL after the incident. A competing faction that listened in on Shepard's sale.
It's a possibility. The audits and investigations of Bell Tower will go on for years before we know how many rats jumped from that ship. At least we recovered the weapons. Unlisted. High spec. Military-grade augmentation. Enough to build another couple of you. That is a joke.
Okay.
Right. It's the world we live in. Anyone with an exemption to the weaponized augment ban is a useful tool. Or a terrorist. I don't envy what you've got ahead of you.
Actually, I'm looking forward to it. The truth is, when you've been under for long enough, you only feel like an imposter out here, in the real world.
That's a worrying sign. The fact that you love the job to the point where you like being this person that you're really not, and you don't want to be the person that you really are anymore. That's a bit of a concern. I think you need a psychiatric evaluation. You need to head into a psychiatrist's office and discuss about your previous job, about your previous case, and, you know, whether you'll be fit to go back onto the field. You know, it's nothing personal. This is just a professional foresight, if I can say that, you know. Because you must always remember that this is a job. It's not your life. You had a life before you were a double agent for Task Force 29. So, yeah, I think you need to visit a psychiatrist. I think everyone here needs to visit a psychiatrist. But no one goes to visit this lady. What's her name again? Dr. Azuni. Yeah, you guys need to go to her.
Yeah, I understand the feeling.
You'd think one of them would pop up on some list somewhere.
Alright, let's see what's this about. Okay, Task Force 29 mission statement. While protecting and upholding international peace in an uncertain and changing world, Task Force 29, referred to herein as TF29, stands committed to countering and dismantling threats around the globe, from the malicious intents and actions of those wishing harm or disruption on our persons, communities, and governments. To achieve this mission, it is our constant duty to maintain and reactive list of individuals and organizations suspected or accused of illegal activity, terrorism, or intent to harm, incite, or destabilize. Monitor threats suspected or confirmed at local, national, and international levels. Counter local, national, and international terrorism in both pre- and post-incident capacities in order to preserve international peace and stability. Conduct post-event investigations to ensure future or repeat incidents are negated and major perpetrators are prosecuted and imprisoned under agreed international statutes. Supports the policing and legal maintenance of major and or sensitive border controls or segregation limits, including augmented separation sites. Provide counterfeiting tools and identification monitoring to national border and control operatives. Okay. Well, yeah, the mission statement is nice. I don't see any problems with it. It's just that, you know, the bureaucracy of the globe and individual countries hamper the mission statement from being achieved. I think that's the only problem.
This is the third such attack destroyed Prague in 6 months.
Attention everyone, the third quarterly TF29 shooting competition is almost upon us. Remember, our firing range is always open, featuring any firearm in the TF29 arsenal with unlimited ammo. Have you practiced enough? Arya, wow, okay. I think Adam Jensen has to enter into this competition.
All of them occurring after Dr. Talis Rucker, leader of the...
Given a recent string of questionable network activity, as well as a general climate of fear and suspicion and heightened security threats in the city, I would like us to move ahead with a new network security protocol. Stage 1 of these protocols includes deployment of automated network refresh system that changes all general system passwords every 6 days. This is just crazy. There's also affect your personal passwords. You'll be prompted to change them manually and meaningfully far more often than you used to. What do I mean by meaningfully? Good question. I mean the system is designed to distinguish a secure password from a crater-sized security risk. Trust it. Chang. Okay, Peter Chang.
These guys might as well be ghosts.
Having recently joined the team, I want to briefly introduce myself. My name is Dr. Delara Auzenne, yes, the psychiatrist, now resident psychiatrist in the Prague Bureau. In addition to providing consultancy training for psychological profiling, hostage negotiation, and criminal communication, I'll also be the person responsible for staff psychological assessment and counsel. Due to the nature of our work here at Task Force 29, every agent has a high risk of exposure to emotional stress and potential trauma. Mental health is just as important as physical health, if not more. Mr. Singh, please go and visit the psychiatrist. Please. Where was I? So it is important for you to have access to relevant professional support both during and after any case you might be working on. Mr. Singh, I look forward to meeting everyone individually over the following weeks for initial consultation. All right.
Dr. Rucker claims his organization
Wait, we're missing one.
is peaceful and merely seeks to ensure the rights of...
Yes, that one. Agent Jansen, I notice you have not yet picked up your supply of Nifrozin I ordered for you this month. Oh yes, I've been told by, who was it who commented? I forgot the name. Sorry, I forgot your name. But this person commented on my previous reaction to Part 13. And I actually forgot that Adam Jansen doesn't need these Nifrozin drugs to make sure that his augmented parts are not rejected by his body. You know, his body already has this ability to accept all forms of augmentation, and he can use it. And you know, he doesn't really go through the same problems that other people with augmentation, go through. You know, like he's the perfect human being that is able to connect with augmented technology without any problem. And yeah, I forgot about that aspect about him. I really did. So thank you very much for reminding me about that. Where was I? I also noticed it's the third time in a row that you have been late picking up your prescription. In my experience, agents like yourself are prone to testing their limits, denying themselves the crucial medicine they need due to their pride or overinflated sense of machismo. Okay? Or a well-intentioned but misplaced belief that others might need it more. If none of these reasons describe you, I sincerely apologize, but I suggest you not be late again, for I will be forced to assume you are obtaining the drug somewhere else illicitly and will have to report you to head office. Thank you for your cooperation, Jen Phillips. Right. Yeah, I guess Adam Jansen can't tell Jen that, you know, his body does not reject his augmentation like other people. I'm still waiting on your after action report. We all gotta file them, you know. Drag your heels much longer and I'll write up it myself. Guaranteed you won't look good in it. Okay, Duncan. Adam Jensen's cubicle office here is so... It reminds it reminds me of his previous job, you know, when he was working under what's his name again? I forgot his name right now. Oh gosh, I forgot the business he was working under. But yes, you know, it's got this yellow theme about it, just like his previous workplace. Yeah, it's nice.
Your guess is as good as mine. This is Eliza Kassan, reporting to you live from Picus.
This is so weird.
Picus News, the global leader in fair, unbiased, and impartial reporting.
Agent Jensen!
And now for a close look at the events making headlines around the world.
You'd think one of them would pop up on some list.
Access granted.
Strict. State police arrested a woman named Irina Markova trying to cross the checkpoint with fake papers. She's been in ARC for 18 months. Alkisi has footage of her in the BG. What's the BG? One of Rucker's earlier press conferences. Okay. The cops didn't want to release her to us, of course, but I pulled rank. She should be here pretty soon. Director Miller's mandate with Markova is he wants to know the full extent of ARC's connection to the bombing. Debbie. Okay, last night I learned on the local ARC sympathizers to see if he knew anything about the bombing, and he gave me 2 names. Thanks for the heads up, but I know all about Valstar. He is in my crosshairs already. It's only a matter of time. And forget Transborg. He's just a bull feces rumor. A dead end. VB, alright.
These guys might as well be ghosts.
Look, I'm going as fast as I can.
This is Jensen. Through all the alphabet.
This is my 3rd overtime shift this month. I guess the transit authority isn't in as much of a hurry as you are then.
There was another attempt to breach our firewall last night.
What is this exactly? Dashboard, events, console, services, save logs. Okay. Trace route, local server. Vincent Black. Alright.
The LZ is totally overrun.
For exposing big money commercials. Access granted.
We never got an official okay from the Indonesians, so...
What I don't get is that, you know, Aaron Manson is able just to take people's stuff from their safes while they're in that room and they're not saying anything, you know, or access their private computers and they don't say anything. Yeah.
Exfil is impossible. The LZ is totally overrun.
Access granted.
Okay. Ryan Baker to Pedro Mirfin. What? Okay. I've read of this guy. The Valley are looking for him too. As for Vince files, he tells me as much as he tells anybody else. Jack feces. Unless he has to. I know he has a secret hiding place somewhere on site. Maybe he's gone. Maybe he's got some files in there, but I don't know. Alright. Let me just zoom out. I need info on a possible gun runner in the red light district working under the radar of both the Diwali and the local cops, although he might have contacts with the law enforcement in another country. Do you know where Vince keeps his files? I got the code for the storage locker near the office 6354. Go check it out. Adam Manson already checked it out. Okay, this is the competition.
Access granted.
Alright. Duncan McCready to Ryan Baker. Looks like your boss is AWOL again, so I'm telling you this instead. Charlie team raided a neon depot on the waterfront. Most of the scumbags went down shooting, but we've got one in a holding. He denies he's affiliated with the organized crime, but that's for you to determine. He's all yours, Mac.
Is it?
Ryan, you're still on Masa Cadillac, right? I got this from my snitch at the Red Queen, so it's legit. Recently, her son Dominique went behind her back for a loan to Ota Bodkovili. Okay, Ota thought Masa approved and loaned the kid money to carry favor with his mother. Now she's mad at Ota. Ota is furious at Dominic, and Dominic refuses to have a sit down with his mother. Radic wouldn't mind Ota losing face, but it's costing the family money, so he's pissed at everyone. This has the potential to explode. Wow, okay. So Ota loaned money to Dominic without Dominic's mother's approval, and now Dominic cannot pay back the money, and Radic is happy with this whole entire situation because it's to his advantage. Okay, all right.
Or is it not a probable target?
Brian Roki. Brian Roki, alright.
They've been everywhere for the past week.
Hey, Agent Jensen. Nice work in Dubai. But still, you know what I want to know is who those ogged up guys in the gold masks were.
Oh, okay, so this is like the board where you guys keep all the important people, organizations, and then you try to connect the dots. Okay, I see.
Be compiling all the case files, and as soon as I know anything, it'll be up on the board.
Maybe the connection is that there is no connection. Is that fucked up? With the train station.
Our arms dealer Shepard, aka John Trent, is a former Special Forces commander and ex-Bell Tower operative. And as is typical for those ex-Bell Tower employees, he's been selling off old Bell Tower tech and weapons. But we don't need to worry about him anymore. He was killed by those gold mask guys in Dubai.
But they're never going to beat the time.
I would have thought you'd had your fill of these guys since Dubai, Jensen. The Jinn, a group of smugglers led by twin brothers Salar and Wasim Alam. Their exact base of operations is unknown, but it's most likely in Muscat, Oman. The brothers Alam have been in operation since 2020 and have greatly expanded their operations since then, recruiting mercenaries, ex-military, nationalistic agitators, and other colorful criminal agitators from Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and the surrounding region. They deal in drugs, weapons, medical implants, augs, and they occasionally throw in some human trafficking.
We're comparing notes. If we don't learn the way these people think, we'll...
You know, this is much better than reading out the documents or the newspapers or, you know, all that type of information that you received while you're playing the game. You know, when Brian here is just talking it out, making summaries of all the information of the important people, important criminal organizations, you know, it sounds very nice. It sounds easy to understand and to relate to, unlike reading all that information, because sometimes it's in pieces. You know, it's not all connected all together where you can make up a clear picture. And because I'm reacting to these parts once every week, sometimes I do forget some information. So when it's in this kind of like bite-sized information that's just being delivered to you like this, it's quite enjoyable. I like it like this.
never track them down.
This guy is the face of the Jinn and a charismatic force of nature. They call him the Bull of the North and the Heart of the Jinn. Real name Salar, works in conjunction with his cold and calculating brother, Wasim, who saved his life during the Aug incident. He is proudly augmented and parades his Augs around wherever and whenever he likes. The hatred of Augs from groups around the world has only emboldened him and his organization.
It'd be easier if someone would just step up and do it.
Ah, Wasim Alam, the head of the Jinn, former limb clinic doctor and surgeon before he turned to more profitable enterprises. He brings the same cold and calculated approach he brought to saving lives to running his business with his brother, Salar.
Maybe whoever's in charge doesn't want anyone to feel safe.
Ah, Agent Singh, great poker player. I still owe him 100 credits.
Just wish
so I hope his
someone would nut
incursion
up
with
and
the
take the
Jinn
blame.
lasts another few months. You know, maybe he'll forget I owe him the money.
I don't think so.
Purity First is an anti-aug group dedicated to keeping humans human, all pure, no augmentations. In their obsessive pursuit of this goal, they have taken extreme measures and are suspected of being responsible for multiple acts of breaking and entering, vandalism, and theft. On occasion, they've even become violent, being implicated in several assaults and murders as they push for their goal of human purity. They've been quiet since the incident. Oh, here we go. The Diwali crime family. As you may already know, they're one of the largest crime syndicates in Eastern Europe, but they do business almost everywhere, from Northern Europe all the way to the Middle East. After their humble beginnings in a coastal town in Georgia, the Diwali quickly moved from gambling to more lucrative criminal enterprises, until they found their specialty, smuggling, which includes human trafficking too. The Diwali can get anything to anywhere. It's as if borders just don't exist to them. But their rapid expansion came at the cost of their Georgian purity, when they started incorporating an ever-increasing number of Russians into the group. If you ask me, I think a major power struggle is coming within the Diwali. One
Hostile takeover.
of the old versus the new. The past versus the future.
Okay, Brian.
Ah, the elusive Radic Nikoladze. This guy's a piece of work, driven and ruthless. When he came up, he was the youngest boss in the Diwali crime family. The man spends more money on suits than most people spend on their houses. But don't let the looks and the haute couture fool you. He's the boss, he's in control, and he's squashed more than a few people who've tried to take him down along the way.
I'd rather not say what this reminds me
The classic Diwali structure has 2 spies, or Pakhans, working for the lieutenant who report directly to the boss, to make sure he stays the boss. Those guys are pretty violent.
Composition could tell us a lot, but it's
the
the trigger
Diwali
that
called
really
this
does the
guy
talking.
He's
Constantine.
dead. The image there showed a dead body, it seems.
Like that's supposed to be intimidating, right? We don't have a last name for Constantine, but until his death in the Rizika bombing, he was a high-placed member of the Diwali
Preemptive
crime
action would be
family,
great if
answering
we
to
knew where to
Otar
start.
Botkavelli. We suspect he has lots of connections in the upper echelons of the organization, all the way up to Radic Nikoladze and beyond. Between you and me,
I'd
I
love to get a
suspect
look
that
at
he's
the
a
boss
Pakhan,
myself,
a spy that watches the
Nice.
Diwali lieutenant closely to make sure he doesn't make a move on the boss. Otar Botkavelli. This guy's a classic. They don't make many like him anymore. Sharp mind, a real businessman. One of those gangsters who thinks that crime is a necessary evil, you know? If it's gonna happen, he's there to make sure people have respect and make good money. Good business. Otar's right-hand man is this guy, Vano. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, if you know what I mean, but he's strong and loyal, something Otar values greatly.
Do it.
You've heard of these guys. ARC, or the Augmented Rights Coalition. They're a human rights group
Thanks.
who, on the surface at least, is trying to provide equal rights for augmented people. It was started by Dr. Talos Rucker, soon after the AUG incident when Rucker started to speak out against the anti-AUG legislation that was being passed by several local governments. If you ask me, it's not working. Things seem to be getting worse. ARC preaches non-violence, but a string of terror attacks has put them on the terror watch list. So I'll let you be the judge. Dr. Talos Rucker, former limb clinic doctor and current leader of the Augmented Rights Coalition. Rucker has chosen to leave his native Germany and to live in the Utilek complex near Prague as a protest to draw attention to the upcoming Human Restoration Act vote. Rucker is a pacifist and believes that what is happening in Prague is what will happen all over the world if the Restoration Act becomes law. You know as much as I do about these guys. They're augmented, well-trained, and very dangerous.
Keep digging.
And they seem to be massing weapons and AUGs for some sort of attack. We don't know what yet. Samizdat is an underground news outlet that likes to think of itself as the real news. They are anti-establishment and anti-almost everything else, including business addresses, so we like to keep our eyes and ears open for any mention of them.
So it seems Eliza Kassan has a has a competitor.
Here we go, the Church of the Machine God, and to some, the Church of the Machine, without the God. And then again, to others, the Singularity Church of the Machine God. This group has so many names and subgroups, it's hard to keep track. And believe it or not, they've been around in one form or another since the early 1970s. There are a lot of contradictory reports on who they are and what they want, but in general, they all want the same thing. They want to merge their consciousnesses and become one with the Machine God through a ritual they call Ascension. Janus. I mean, what can you say about him? Or her. Nobody really knows who or what Janus is. But what many believe is that Janus is running the most dangerous hacking group in the world, attacking corrupt politicians and businesses on a global scale. The corporate world is terrified of Janus.
Maybe Janus is an AI created, to become this this warrior, if I can say that, this juggernaut collective hacktivist warrior. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a rumor that the Church of the Machine God is building a machine that will help bring forth the Singularity. Sure, I guess that's a possibility. I'm just not sure what they would plug that machine into. The Church of the Machine...
He has a point. He has a point there. What are they going to connect this Singularity device to? How are they going to make sure that this device is maintained, for the foreseeable future and beyond? Because these people are going into this Singularity to be one with their God. However, this device needs to be powered by something. It needs to be taken care of because technology, the current technology that we have, and even the technology in this game, it doesn't last long. It rusts, dust starts collecting on it. There could be wars happening in Prague or wherever else they keep this Singularity device at, and there's no surety that this device is going to last a very long time. So how are they going to maintain all of these things?
machine god has a leader, but all we know about her at this point is that she's a woman and they call her mother. That's creepy, right? I think that's really creepy. The New Sons of Freedom, or NSF, is a small group of militant constitutionalists and secessionists operating in the continental United States, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. The group was formed as a reaction to the American government's increasingly authoritarian regime. NSF is committed to fighting the influence and control of a group of unknown people they believe to be the Illuminati with strategic guerrilla warfare strikes. They are suspected of having ties with Janus and the Juggernaut Collective.
Step up and do it.
Ah, what to say about the Juggernaut Collective that isn't speculation. A bunch of their members were running operations out of Montreal in 27, resurfacing for a while in 28. You heard of the Rifleman Bank Station? Bell Tower? Anyway, the Collective is a group of hacker activists, or hacktivists. Oh my god, I hate that word. Dedicated to the cause of freedom. At least that's what they say, or what their actions appear to say. They fight corruption by exposing hypocrisy and protecting the unprotected. No one knows the real power structure inside of the Collective, but there is one name that echoes over the darknet, and that name that echoes even louder than Hex, and you can talk to Peter Chang if you don't believe me, that name is Janus. And some say Janus runs everything, while others think there is no Janus.
Alright, what is this? Let's see. I trust your hunches better than most people's evidence. There's no way, if the Diwali number 2 owns it, that the storage locker is 100% clean. I'm in the middle of something I can't break away from right now. Check it out yourself quietly. Tell me what you find. Okay. Vince, you know that the courtyard just down the street from us, I go there sometimes to grab a snack after work, and there's one storage locker there that's always felt a little bit suspicious. Well, today I learned it belongs to Ota Botkovili. Huh. We can't go in there officially without a warrant, and my hunch obviously isn't enough to get us one, but I did crack the code to the door 3874. One of us could go in unofficially just to look what's inside. What do you think, boss? Well, I think Adam Jansen is going to do that. Adam Jansen is going to break into Ota Botkovili's locker. Yeah.
Access granted.
I found out how those two snitches of yours wound up in the morgue. One of them said too much trying to impress a hooker, and when her Diwali boyfriend caught with him, he figured the other snitch in the hopes. Oh, he fingered the other snitch in the hopes it would save him. It looks like you don't have a leak after all. Okay. Me neither. He's not exactly warm, welcoming, kind guy. I've never invited him to lunch. I don't think anybody has either. That's not just because he's an orc. The man keeps to himself even more than Chaikane does. I tried asking Jim about how he got there. Casually. I thought her director was going to tear my throat out. Alright. Which reminds me, Jim's really giving you and me the frosty treatment lately. Even more than usual. Any idea what's up? Oh, there's more to read down here. Okay. Hell yeah, you can't trust a guy who wears sunglasses. Are they talking about Adam Jansen? I think they're talking about him. Okay. Okay, that's a joke, of course. I don't think it's true, but still, of all the mysteries around here, your man Jansen is one of the most interesting. how does a guy like that even wind up in a place like this? I know McCready didn't want him. He's been here 6 months and I still don't know anything about him. One of our colleagues tried to convince me that Jansen got kicked out of the police force in Detroit for killing a kid and starting a riot. I don't buy it. You? Gossip.
Maybe whoever's in charge doesn't want anyone to feel safe.
Access granted.
Maybe the connection is that there is no connection. Is that?
Alright. Of course, I've heard of Windmill. Anybody who knows anything about hacking in the last 10 years have heard of Windmill. Windmill, at the Taiyang medical facility, right? The guy who took control of an augmented human being, and you know, he was hacking, and then Adam Jansen caught him in the act, and then, you know, the person the Windmill was controlling took out a gun and shot himself in the face, you know, killed himself. That guy, right? That guy from, I think he's from, I don't know which country is he from, but he was a bit odd. He was an odd person. But yeah, I remember him. And Adam Jansen saved his life. Yeah. Where was I? His last known activity dates are roughly a week before the incident. Authorities think he was in Hangsha at the time. He disappeared without a trace. Stay on this. If it's him and you're the one who proves he's still alive, you're going down in history. Chang. Stop calling me PC. Oh, Peter Chang. Okay.
Fucked up?
Oh, gosh. Right. I've just intercepted some traffic from a hack on Taiyang Medical. The hacker used a Trojan horse to take over the brain of an augmented technician, and the code for the horse was written in Dutch. Yes, he was Dutch. Yes. With the decryption key of AVB. I have a crazy theory. Have you ever heard of the hacker named Windmill?
Maybe whoever's in charge.
Ethan, I spoke to the Metro Police on your behalf. They searched the electrical conduits for what you described as and found zero evidence of any bridging electronics. Okay. However, they did find where crumbling infrastructure was allowing water on the wires, which would certainly result in shutdowns that we've been experiencing lately. I'm fairly certain were mysteries solved here. Okay. When the liaison said she showed us one. Oh, when the liaison said she owed us one, I collected it. If you want to have a look for yourself, the security hub code is blah 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 blah, keypad open, blah 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 blah, Derby. Okay.
Charge doesn't want anyone to feel safe.
Preemptive action would be great if we were to start. I've been scrubbing through garbage
Thanks.
for hours.
Keep digging.
Jensen, we need to talk.
Hey, Peter Chang.
Jensen, I heard about the explosion. We should relocate. I was thinking we could corner Director Miller together. Tell him it's not safe enough here.
We're fine, Chang.
The police station, the train station, we're next. I can feel it. I can more than feel it. I can see it happening.
No one knows where we are. There's no reason to get paranoid.
That's where you're wrong. They're trying to pull the lid off of us, Jensen, or someone is. Praha Dovos just got hacked.
Our building's front company. Thought it was fake.
I wish it was fake. Miller's got me cleaning up IntelliCam footage from the attack to help figure out who these people are. Meanwhile, maybe they're trying to figure out who we are? Why else poke into an import company?
You think someone's figured out that the company's a front? Maybe they know what's really down here.
We have a lot of enemies. The people who bombed the train station. You don't think they'd love to know where we are? You need to help me figure out who's looking into us and make them stop.
I'm gonna need more information about this snoop of yours.
I don't know for sure that our cover's been blown, but if it has, we need to know before our enemies have a chance to do something about it.
Yeah, I think he's a bit paranoid, but at least with this, I agree with him. If he does have a lead, I think he should give it to Adam Jansen, and then Adam Jansen can look into it. But if it's just him being, very worried and panicking about, a potential bombing at Task Force 29 headquarters here in Prague, then yeah, I think he needs help. He also needs to visit the psychiatrist. Yeah.
What can you tell me about our front company?
Praha Dovos was designed to be forgettable. The kind of place you walk by 100 times and still can't remember.
It obviously caught someone's attention. What happens if we're compromised?
My guess, we dismantle and disappear. Agents go into hiding, director burrows into some hole, poof, no Christmas party.
You really think there's a risk here? Maybe someone's just poking around the fake website of a fake company.
If someone points a gun at me, I assume it's loaded. If someone hacks into the website of the company that serves as our cover, I assume they're doing it for a bad reason.
Such as?
Everything depends on who they are and what they know. But we're in the business of dealing with terrorists. If those terrorists find out where we are...
TF-29 likes its privacy.
Sure. More importantly, Chang likes being in one piece. Unlike you, I don't just brush off explosions.
You got an MO in this hacker?
He has a point.
At first I thought it might be the Collective.
But you're not convinced.
Not Janus's style to leave crumbs this big. But whoever it is, they risk exposing us. If the Collective ever found out where we operate... My God, Jensen.
Maybe Janus knows already.
Hey, don't say shit like that. I get nervous enough as it is. I need you to find out as much as you can about our Snoop. Make sure we're not in danger.
I'm sure Janus already knows. Yeah.
Alright, you have any leads?
I traced our hacker Snoop to an unrented apartment. Top floor, 33 Hlavny. Just down the street. This guy walks by us every single day. Probably walks in.
You're kidding.
See? You feel it now. The constant buried alive feeling. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought we were supposed to be suspicious of things that go on outside these walls.
It's never that simple.
Just get into that apartment, access the computer they used, and find out what you can. And be careful, Jensen. We don't know who we're dealing with.
Yeah, he can do that.
I'll look into it. As soon as I know something, so will you.
Okay, that was Peter Chang. A series of coordinated bomb blasts tore through Rizka station yesterday morning, killing dozens of travelers and renewing fears of large-scale terrorist mayhem against the city. Rail travel to Prague is being rerouted while forensic investigators comb the debris for answers. Okay. This morning, it remained unclear who is responsible, but given that the two similar bombings targeted lawmakers and destroyed a police station precinct earlier in this year, the latest attack suggests that augmented terrorists upset over Prague's model augmentation licensing and relocation programs may be responsible. Obviously, the world is watching Prague. State police spokesman Alex Volne told reporters, and that is why we are working hard to bring the wave of augmented terror to an end. Even with Interpol aiding in our investigations, I am confident our people can bring swift justice to those responsible.
It's a smart move. They don't want to be caught in the dragnet.
Maybe whoever's in charge doesn't want it.
Access granted.
That was easy. Finally managed to get that search warrant you wanted for the internet cafe. Don't tell anybody your suspicions that Janus contracts a local operative there. They won't accept that because in their minds that makes it a local issue and therefore their jurisdiction. I got the warrant by pretending that suspect contact is connected to ARC and knew about the bombing. Whoa. Okay. People are bending the rules here. They're not breaking them, but they are bending. They are bending the rules. I'll let you know when the warrant arrives. Don't do anything until then, Debbie. Ben, I know Miller wants you on the bombing, but please, under the radar, continue keeping tabs on Janus. We have a lot of people on Rutska and we need to get this guy before he gets us. Thanks, Chang. I still think Janus is an AI of some sort, you know? But I guess we'll see.
They would just step up and do it.
Negative. They're saying it was faulty wiretape.
Access granted.
Quick message, but I didn't want to keep you waiting. I got a ping on that Diwali cache you were tracing. It didn't go to ARC like you thought. They sent it back home to Georgia. I'll keep you posted. It took 3 weeks, but I found him. Japanese police pulled a corpse out of Sagami Bay 2 nights before. Fingers broken, eyes burnt out. While he was still alive. Wow, okay. When they make an example of someone, they don't fool around. Yeah, that's nasty. I need to keep your feelers out for someone. Joseph Shingita. There were 4 hackers involved in last night's failed cyber attack on the... Let me just zoom out a bit more. On the Taiyang vault in Playside. Okay. 2 are in custody. 1 fried his brain when the attack failed. Shingita the last, and he's in the wind. Okay. And that's the guy who died. Breaking his fingers, burning out his eyes. Yikes.
Maybe whoever's in charge doesn't want anyone. Maybe whoever's in charge doesn't want anyone. Maybe the connection is that there is no connection. This is mismatched to me. For crying out loud.
Combat drones attacked safely.
It would be easier if someone would just step up and do it.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, Arya.
Hey, Adam, hang on a sec. Filling out supply request forms for McCready and his boys is tedious as hell, but I don't want to give him another reason to say no.
Say no to what?
Are you kidding me? Right now, you're the only active augmented agent we have. I'm hoping to change that, been asking him every week practically, but so far, permission denied.
Really? He give you a reason?
Says my stress levels are too high. Told me I should sign up for meditation classes and drag Chang in with me so he'd chill out and stop changing security codes all the time. It sucks because I really wanted to find out who those crashers in Dubai were.
You were saying your stress levels were affecting your chances of becoming a field agent. Why is that?
I have a rare resistance to neuropozyne. I need more than the average person, especially in stressful situations. They say I'd be too expensive, so it's not just discrimination. That would be easier to deal with. It's a combination of things.
Well, that combination of things is pretty bad in Prague, and getting worse.
I know, but Interpol was the only agency who would give me a chance, and this is where I was assigned. I have no problem with that. I'll take whatever they throw at me.
Good.
It took me months of rehabilitation, getting used to the new arm, learning how to shoot again, learning how to tie my own boots. But I did it, and I'm better than I was before. I want to help, and I can. My place is out there in the field where I can make a difference. You know that. And if you can do it, so can I.
Don't give up, Arya. Semper Fi.
Hoorah.
After the bombing, when Chang changed all the locks and codes, was he under orders? Was there a credible threat to our location?
Maybe, but I don't think so. You know how he gets. Still, he wasn't the only one overreacting this time. A lot of people have been here for over 36 hours, and the state police have not exactly been cooperative.
I can imagine.
It took several hours before we got the security footage from the train station and surrounding streets. It's like they don't trust Interpol. It's weird. I can almost understand Chang's paranoia.
Well, Chang doesn't trust anyone, especially anyone in law enforcement.
Well, if you thought he was high-strung before, the attack only made him more manic. He's making connections no one else sees, and some that may not be there.
Explosions tend to damage things like sensitive electronic equipment.
Right? Try telling him that.
I still can't believe Miller gave the gold mask case to McCready.
Oh, I'm sorry, Adam. You were there too. You're probably as pissed about those guys getting the drop on the team in Dubai as McCready is. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't been there. Agent Singh might have been killed.
Well, I better let you get back to work.
Yeah, sure. Talk to you later.
Okay, Arya wants to be on the field too. I think she can do it, you know. Maybe she just needs far more effective neuropozyne, if there's anything like that. Something that can control her stress far better. But I think she can do it too, you know. Let's give her a chance. Maybe not on the high-risk missions just yet, but something small. Start small and then we'll progress to far bigger missions. I think they should do that. Okay guys, that's it. That's it with Deus Ex Mankind Divided walkthrough playthrough done by Fallen Foggy. This was part 14. Yes, we got to see Peter Chang finally. This guy has, you know, been really, requesting a lot from the personnel in Task Force 29 in terms of their computers, making sure that the computers are not hacked by anyone. You know, asking them to change their security passwords every 6 days or something. So yeah, now we finally get to see the guy. He does seem a bit paranoid, a bit frightened, but it's understandable, you know, considering the job that he's in and where he's based, and also what happened in the Prague station, railway station. And yeah, it's kind of understandable, but yes, I think he might be onto something. In terms of, you know, someone who's trying to hack into the security system of Task Force 29, and yes, he sent the mission over to Adam Jansen to complete. I guess we'll find out when we enter into this house that he's supposed to be going into to acquire information. We also got to see the leaderboard, or the board that has all the information on the different crime families, the individuals in those crime families, and of course the terrorist groups and the cultist groups, if I can say that as well, and the activists like the Juggernaut Collective, you know. And yeah, we got to find out all that information there, and you know who the important players are, how they're connected to each other. And yeah, we also got to see should I call him Operative Singh? Yeah, Operative Singh. You know, he's going back to Oman. He's going to go back onto the field as a double agent for the Jinn mercenary group. Is it a mercenary group or is it a terrorist group? I think it's a mercenary group, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's going back into the Jinn organization. He's going to try and see what he can find, you know, vital information or sabotage their operations. I'm kind of worried about him, you know. He's in too deep with the enemy right now. I think he needs to go for a psychiatric evaluation, and, you know, just to see if he's actually mentally, if he's still okay. Because, yeah, he is too much into this, you know, acting like a spy and being in the group. He might change sides. I don't know. I think he's just too deep into what's going on in the Jinn organization. But I guess we'll see what happens in the future with him. And yeah, we also got to see Arya with a competition, the shooting range competition that she's holding, and she's also having aspirations to become an agent on the field, but she is being blocked by McCready. And I think McCready's reasonings are justifiable. You know, if she has issues with her augmentation in terms of not accepting the nifrozin drugs, then that might be a problem. So I think she needs to deal with that first and see if there's a way for her to control you know, her stress levels, and making sure that she takes a proper amount of nifrozin, or maybe a better version of nifrozin if there's anything like that, for her missions, and maybe she will do well. Yeah, all we can do is just hope that she gets the job. And yeah, guys, I guess that's it for today with the Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Remember, if you want to check out the original video as well as Fallen Foggy's YouTube channel, the links are in the description below. If you like my reaction, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be updated with my latest videos, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, bye bye.